Real estate agents, do not buy leads or run paid ads before you understand this one thing that we're about to go over on this video today. If you're new to the channel, my name is Eetu. I'm the founder and CEO at Mescula, a real estate growth agency that's revolutionizing the way realtors acquire listings by implementing the AI-enhanced value-first online listing acquisition system. On this channel, I'll show you how to build predictable and scalable listing acquisition systems to close extra 12, 24, 36, or even more listings per year. If you're already a subscriber, welcome back and thank you. That being said, let's dive in. So, do not buy leads or run paid ads before you understand this one thing. And what the one thing is, it's as simple as with every level there is a new devil. With every level there's a new devil. And this is a key to understand. Now, what do I mean by this? If you just think about the process of getting listing signed and deal closed, when we think about different stages, different points in the actual process, you're gonna obviously, before you are able to get a deal closed, you're gonna get the listing signed. Then you are gonna have in-person appointments, right? You have to have conversations with people in order to have in-person appointments, and then you need to have leads to have conversations with, right? So you have different levels in that game in order to get to the actual outcome that we're looking for. There's different stages in that process. So normally what happens is when someone decides to run paid ads or buy leads or come to work with us, they need leads. That's what they think they need. So they're gonna need some leads, okay? And now when they start working with us or someone else, or they run paid ads themselves, etc., they get leads. So we solve that problem. But then the next step, the next challenge, the next problem, the bottleneck comes, okay, how can I actually get these people to pick up the phone? How can I have conversations with these people, etc.? And how do I go about actually, just like follow up the lead conversion process when a new lead opts in? What do I do first, next, etc., in order to get leads to have conversations with me? And now this is one point where some people may think that if they aren't getting conversations or no one is picking up, that the lead sucks or the lead source sucks or whatever the case may be. However, it may just be that your process sucks, and that's totally fine because you have probably never been able to make online leads work. So that's the first problem. That's actually the second problem after you come in. So the first problem will most likely get fixed by actually just buying and getting the lead source, right? So then we have the conversations problem. And when we have that conversations problem, once that's solved, which normally happens when working with us, normally happens around month 2 when people actually start to crack the code in terms of like, okay, how do I get these people on the phone? Actually, to be honest, that happens much faster than that. But the actual conversation, like, okay, how do I get, now that I have conversations with these people, how do I get these into in-person appointments? That's normally actually what happens around end of month 1 and then beginning of month 2, actually being able to get those people from conversations to in-person appointments, right? So now at this point, okay, I'm getting leads on the phone, I'm having conversations with people, but I'm hearing things like, I changed my mind, or I'm not ready to sell yet, or like I just clicked on it by accident, or whatever the case may be. We all heard those different normal basic objections or smoke screens, and at that point you need to realize that those are just that. And what it means is that you need to learn a new skill. How do I handle those? What do I say? What do I ask? What do I do on that phone call in order to get them to open up and actually have a legit conversation with me, right? And trust me enough to invite me to come to their house. So that's a tough piece. Some people never crack that code. Thankfully, if you work with us, you will. right? No matter how much you would pay to us or whatever the case may be, you actually have to be open for feedback and being okay that you don't necessarily know everything, okay? But then once we crack the code and we start to get actual in-person appointments set, now the next problem that we face normally is that, like, no one is really ready yet. I met with 15 people, but I didn't sign any listing papers. No one is ready to actually sell their home. They're just like, I don't know, looking for CMA or something. Now, while that may be true, in most cases that's not, and there's just things that we need to understand that we need to do differently, okay? And at that point, you also have to realize that, okay, hey, I have already figured out how to get leads. I bought them, right? I invested into this program, I invested into the system, or I built the system myself, or I bought some leads from somewhere, right? Then I figured out, okay, how to have conversations with people, how to get them pick up the phone, how to actually get them to open up to me in a way that they invite me to come to their home. And now I'm here, I've been meeting with people. That's the realization you have to go through. It's like, okay, I have gone through already 3 different levels. Now it's the next level that I have to get to. And I realize, because there's another level, there's another devil. And this is it. And this is the problem that I need to figure out how to solve. And thankfully, if you realize that and you work with us, then we'll help you with that. Now, when it comes to that, there's obviously multiple different things that you can do, but you can figure out, okay, is there something wrong in my sales process? Is there something wrong in a way like how I set expectations when I'm actually meeting with them? Maybe do I need to have 2 phone calls with them before I have the meeting, or do I need to just realize that in some situations I need to have 2 in-person appointments before actually being able to even sign anything, and I need to separate my conversion process at the signing process or the closing process in a way that I have 2 in-person meetings with them. The first one, let's say you go through walkthrough, etc. You get them motivated, you get them interested to work with you. You start to build a relationship. You start to get them like and trust you, and then from there you're like, this is the next step. So you leading them to the next step, which would be then in that case a follow-up meeting where you would do an actual listing presentation, etc. So like you actually need to figure out like what is the best process for you. And then if you work with us, you need to realize that there may be things that you need to change in a way how you are currently doing things compared to this listing acquisition process, this paid ads process, because it's totally different compared to referrals or sphere of influence, etc. So you have to understand that. But the mistake that normally happens at this point is people give up. Some people actually do give up over here already, like, this lead suck. And then they maybe called like 10 people and they didn't even realize, like 10. Think about this. Let's say you call 10 leads and you make a decision based off of that data point. Is 10 data points large enough to actually make a reasonable, realistic, data-driven decision? No, it definitely is not. So that's something you have to realize. And it's funny, most of the time, people who've been in the industry for a long time, 20 years, are the ones who give up at this point. And I don't get it. Dude, just like understand there's things that you maybe need to do differently when you're talking to different people. Most likely don't talk the same way to your partner, his spouse, wife, whatever, compared to your, best buddies when you're having a beer with them or whatnot. Maybe you do, I don't know, but it's still different. Or you don't talk the same way to your wife than you were talking to them when you first met them. Like that's a totally different game. You can't assume they will marry you before you even met with them. That's crazy. So that's something you have to understand when it comes to different lead sources, when it comes to the way how we work through those. There's different process for every single. They have similarities, but they may change slightly. And then after that, people tend to give up here, because once this is figured out and we get conversations, normally this is then easy to get, and people start to actually, like, it starts to click. They start to understand, like, okay, hey, this actually makes sense. I need to do this and that in order to have this appointment set. So this is normally then the next step when people actually give up, which is just doesn't make sense because you already won most of the battle. And because at this point, you're really just like finally actually getting to really, really build up the relationship and do the things that you already know how do. You just haven't done those things with people like these from online sources as successfully as you've been doing it from referral or sphere of influence or other so-called warmer sources. But yeah, that's pretty much where people unfortunately tend to give up. So from there, really, when it comes to getting after you get the listing signed and you through the process actually selling the home and closing the deal, that's pretty much stuff that people already knows how to do. And for example, our real estate coaches to just like remind people how to do those things. But yes, this is the initial parts of this process. Initial stages are normally the hardest parts, the toughest parts for agents to actually crack the code. But once you guys do, then this becomes super simple, like really, really simple. But you just have to understand that with every level, there is a new devil. And that being said, if you do want to find out if we could help you out more and check out if we could potentially install our Value First Listing Access System into your business, then there's a link in the description. Click that. It will direct you to this page where's the video where I go over how our stuff works and 2 reasons why it actually does work. Check out the video and then click the button on that page to schedule an interview. And yeah, we'll see you. Someone from our team will have a chat with you and we'll see you if we can potentially help you out depending on where you're at and where you're looking to go. If there's no slots available, then you can try to go to mescula.com page. There's also a game plan scheduling button. However, most likely if it's not available, you can just drop a comment here or email us or whatnot, and we'll try to figure out if we can squeeze you in somewhere. As of right now, these spots were, at least at the time of recording this video, the spots were pretty jam-packed. But that being said, go there, go check out the video, schedule an interview with my team, and drop your questions, comments, dead threads, everything to the comment section, and click subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao.